Have you ever received a strange call, an unexpected message, or a promising email claiming you're about to get an extra $1 or $200 from the government? While electricity prices rise, medication costs increase and everything gets more expensive. A surprise payment sounds incredibly tempting. But behind these seemingly kind promises, many people have lost everything. From Social Security benefits to entire bank accounts, all because of one moment of misplaced trust. So, what's real and what's a trap? And more importantly, how can you avoid becoming the next victim? Watch until the end of this video to catch all the warning signs and learn how to protect yourself against increasingly sophisticated scams. If you believe this information should be known by everyone, please like and share. Your action today might help someone avoid a devastating loss tomorrow. Madeline Tyler's story began with a letter she received that looked exactly like official correspondence from the Social Security Administration. It contained a clear request she needed to send back her personal information before March 28th, or her monthly benefits would be interrupted. For Ms. Tyler, that money wasn't just a number, it was medication, utility bills, the funds that helped her cover monthly expenses. Without hesitation, she followed the letter's instructions. Everything happened simply, according to procedure. But when Debbie, her sister, discovered what happened, things had already gone too far to reverse. Debbie picked up the letter and read it carefully, and she saw them, small errors that an average person might overlook, a few spelling mistakes, inconsistent fonts, and, most importantly, a strange phone number that didn't belong to any SSA office. But what truly worried her, the scammers already had her sister's real Social Security number. She panicked. Debbie choked up while recounting that moment. You know, she's 75 years old. That panic wasn't just about a letter, but about realizing she had just handed over her entire identity, benefits, and her lifestyle dependent on that small stipend to some invisible person she had never seen. Ms. Tyler's story is an expensive lesson. In a world where scam tactics grow increasingly sophisticated, no one can afford to be naive anymore. And no one should wait for others to come to their rescue. Because only when you actively stand up, ask questions, check every detail, and hold on tightly to your personal information as if it's the only door keeping you safe, only then can you truly protect your benefits. Act now, not to confront, but to avoid being blindsided. Not out of paranoia, but because you deserve to be safe. So, if it were you, the most important thing you can do right now is take action. True power lies in your own decision, the moment you choose to stand up to protect yourself. Every time you receive a message, an email, or a seemingly urgent call, give yourself a second to pause. One slow breath could save you from a major mistake. Don't rush to share your Social Security number, bank account details, PIN, or any personal information over the phone or through messages, regardless of who the person claims to be. The best scammers know how to make you feel pressured and believe you're being threatened, but that's precisely when you need to stay more alert than ever. If you receive a letter asking you to update your records or confirm information, don't follow the instructions immediately. Open your own browser. Visit the official Social Security Administration website at SSA or the Internal Revenue Service at IRS.gov to verify. That's how you maintain control, with correct information from the right sources. If something makes you suspicious, don't keep it to yourself. Call the official hotlines, report it at Report Fraud, FTC, Gov, or call the SSA Inspector General's office directly at 1-800-269-0271. Each call you make not only protects you but also helps stop the next scammer. When you speak up, you're not alone. You're protecting an entire community of people just like you. And always remember this: The Social Security Administration will never ask you to pay with gift cards, wire transfers, cash, or any non-transparent method to maintain your benefits. If someone says otherwise, they don't represent any government organization. They're trying to take what's yours. Today's scams don't arrive in obvious ways. They're sophisticated, familiar, and extremely convincing. They don't need to break down your door. Just having you open your phone is enough. Many people have fallen victim to fake IRS text messages claiming they qualify for a $400 stimulus check. Just clicking one small link and filling in simple information like your account number or social security number. And you've just granted a stranger access to your financial life. And this happens every day. Treasury check fraud scams are becoming increasingly dangerous and unpredictable, especially for seniors or those receiving government benefits. By using seemingly legitimate checks with watermarks, official-looking seals, and persuasive language, scammers have silently victimized thousands of people. And the scariest part is it all starts with just one check and a promise. In the most common scenario, victims receive fake checks that appear to be issued by the U.S. Treasury Department, accompanied by notifications that they qualify for assistance payments, tax refunds, or some special grant. The instructions are clear. Send back a portion of the money to cover taxes, processing fees, or some mandatory charges. But when the bank discovers the check is fake, it's the recipient, not the scammer, who bears the consequences. The money transferred cannot be recovered, and the victim's account may be frozen or debited. Worse yet, tax refund fraud often accompanies fake treasury checks. Criminals use stolen personal information to file tax returns under someone else's name, receiving refunds into accounts they control. Sometimes they send a portion of this fake money to victims and request a return of tax errors, unwittingly making victims accomplices who then bear full legal and financial responsibility. Another scheme is grant fraud. Victims are informed they've been selected to receive special government grants for business support, disaster relief, or personal expenses. To receive this grant, they're asked to pay upfront processing fees via wire transfer, gift cards, or from the fake check the scammer provides, then send a portion back to the issuer. The end result remains the same money gone, and faith in the system shaken. Even worse are cold-toned calls from people claiming to be IRS or SSA employees. They don't persuade, they threaten that you'll be prosecuted, lose benefits, or have assets frozen if you don't cooperate immediately. For many seniors, just hearing SSA is enough to cause panic. But the truth is, these agencies never call demanding immediate payment, and certainly never ask for personal information over the phone, email, or text messages. There are also websites designed so sophisticatedly that you can hardly spot the difference. One changed letter, an extra data link that looks very similar to SSA Gov or IRS Gov. And if you accidentally log in or submit information, you might lose more than you think. One of the most sophisticated and heartbreaking scam forms today is the romance scam, a technique where fraudsters don't use fear to threaten, but use fake care, empathy, and love to gain the victim's trust. The Social Security Administration, SSA, has clearly warned about this form of fraud, especially common among elderly people living alone, seeking connection, or feeling lonely in their daily lives. Scammers typically approach through social media, email, or even in online community groups pretending to share similar circumstances, or slowly building seemingly genuine relationships. After establishing trust, they start asking for loans, citing reasons like medical expenses, job loss, or needing urgent help to meet in person. In many cases, victims have transferred their entire retirement benefits or monthly Social Security payments to someone they've never met in real life. It doesn't stop there. Some scammers exploit lack of knowledge about annual cost of living adjustment policies to create fake requirements. They call or send letters announcing that you need to verify information to receive COLA or pay an update processing fee if you want to receive pension increase adjustments. All of this is fake, but it targets the psychology of anticipation and desire for more support in the context of rising prices. In reality, SSA never requires payment of any fees to apply COLA. This adjustment happens automatically based on inflation indices and pre-established economic criteria. Benefit recipients don't need to submit additional paperwork pay fees or provide personal information again just to receive COLA. Vigilance is the only choice to avoid becoming a victim of empty promises or requests disguised as policy. If someone approaches you in an overly familiar way too quickly, or if you receive a COLA-related notification accompanied by payment requests, stop. Taking preparatory action now is the only choice that can protect you. That's how you draw a clear line between yourself and those waiting for an opportunity to take over your life. The danger level of scams is no longer a theoretical warning. In the past 12 months, over 91,000 elderly Americans have become victims. According to Federal Trade Commission reports, FTC 2024. That number isn't just data, but tens of thousands of real stories. Real people like you, like Miss Tyler, who lost their financial security after just one call, one letter, one message. Scammers are becoming increasingly sophisticated. They impersonate Social Security Administration (SSA) representatives asking you to verify personal information to avoid benefit interruption. They send fake checks with promises of financial assistance, then ask you to return a portion of the money due to overpayment. They call with a stern tone, threatening to cut your benefits if you don't follow instructions immediately. And once you provide personal information, even just once, the battle to reclaim your benefits has begun, and often, it's a battle you're unlikely to win. Now is the time to reaffirm the unchanging standards of Social Security. SSA never requests personal information via phone, email, or text messages. SSA never threatens prosecution, never asks for payment via gift cards, never forces you to act hastily out of fear. If someone does this, they're not the government. They're scammers. Some people aren't tech-savvy. They've never learned to distinguish between a real website and a fake one, never known that just one different dot in an address could be an entire trap. They don't install scam alert apps, don't check links in messages. They simply think that if someone says they'll lose benefits unless they confirm information, they should comply before it's too late, and there are also many people who genuinely need assistance. Life is increasingly expensive. Medication prices, electricity bills, living costs, everything is climbing. An extra $100 or $200 monthly could help them breathe. So, when someone says they're about to receive a new benefit or a stimulus check from the government, they want to believe it. They need to believe it. Because sometimes hope is the only thing keeping people going. But it's precisely in those gaps of trust, lack of information, and desire for help, that scams slip in. Gently, skillfully, and extremely convincingly. So, if you're reading this far, please remember you can protect yourself, even if you're not familiar with smartphones, even if you've never used a computer. You can still pause before giving out information. You can ask questions. You can double-check. You can say, "I need to verify this first," before agreeing to anything. If you find this video helpful, hit like to let us know you're standing with the community. Don't forget to share the video with relatives, friends, and neighbors. Sometimes just one click to share can help someone avoid an unnecessary loss. And Hit subscribe to not miss the latest information about Social Security benefits, scam alerts, and policies changing every day. Thank you for listening, and always remember, you deserve protection.